Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. And here's my X account, and if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow. And here's some fantastic trades from today, guys. AMD, just like I said in my video, that if it gets down to that level and it can hold 148, AMD will pay. And you can see right here, AMD got in, did not even wait for 145, 155 calls, and this one definitely went to the moon. That was a huge bounce. I think almost $5 bounce back up to the upside from the lows this morning. Was a nice day trade, locked in profit. And then another one here, you can see Tesla. We definitely got in exactly near 215, and Tesla 220 calls also went to the moon when in the money, over the money. Now all these trade ideas, and especially if you're serious about trading, guys, this is it. Check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. So talking about AMD, it's up 4.52%, and I did not even see this up until now, guys. I mean, calls went in the money. You can see it right here, sitting at 155, and we talked about it before. The longer time we spend over 148 after getting that breakout, the next step is this gap, 153.80, which is fully closed, and then watch out for this move right up here to this 50-day moving average, sitting at almost 155, and so far, we actually got a close over this 50-day moving average, and it's getting a bit overextended because of this Bollinger Band not actually going up, and it's actually sitting at 155. So I think AMD might be just consolidating here and holding 155, and if that happens in next few days, next stop on AMD, the longer time we spend over 155 or maybe even 153 right here, you're going to see a move up to 164, and from there 174.53. Now we get a pullback and AMD takes out 155. Then the next support right here, 153, and underneath that level down here, 148, which is going to be a critical level on any pullback right here on AMD. On Tesla stock, it's up 3%. So Tesla picked up the dip this morning live at 215, 220 calls, and you can see this one also now trading at 223. It was a nice day trade, and also I said it in my video Sunday night that Tesla here, guys, we come back down, and anywhere from 212 to 214 to 215, these are dip buying opportunity. And if you actually did that today on Tesla, you made a decent amount of money here on the stock, and now it's trading at 222, almost 223. So what's the next stop? The longer time we spend over, I would say right here, 215 to 212, these moving averages right here, you're going to see a move up to right here. That's going to be around 232, and from there, right here, this gap comes into play, 245.63. Now on a pullback, you need to watch critical support 215 and then 212, and underneath that level, you're going to see a flush down to 207 to 205.72. 13-day moving average, and then 200, and under 200 we're going back all the way down to 183, and I don't see that's the case right now. I think Tesla targeting this gap here on top, and a lot of investors, including myself, actually looking at this and waiting for more opportunities, more pullbacks, or maybe if this thing actually takes out this high up here, in that case you can still play this, and possibly Tesla will close this gap at 245.63. So you can wait for that confirmation, or just like I got in today and made money, you can also do that if there is a pullback on Tesla again tomorrow down here near 212 to 215. On Apple stock, it's absolutely flat on the day. Now Apple, I did call this out in my Discord, and I don't think anybody actually cared about buying Apple, but there was a money making opportunity when this thing was trading at 224, I believe, and I said that 225 calls can pay today, and now you can see, I mean, it's up 226 now almost. So Apple was holding again 5-day moving average, and that is why that call out came out, because look at this, 224, that is where 5-day moving average is sitting. So that was a nice play if you took it this morning, and now it's trading at near 226, holding 225 critical support and holding 5-day moving average right here, 223.93. I would say 224, right? So anything above 224 to 225, the next stop here on Apple stock 230, and then this gap comes into play 232.33. And looking at Nasdaq 100 and especially triple Q, the way we got the close today, closing that gap over 480, I think this gap is already in play, and we're going to see a move here on Apple very soon this week. This thing might be going up and closing this gap at 232.33. Now on a pullback, critical support to watch 224 to 225. Underneath that level, you're going to see a flush down to 220, 218, and then all the way down here at 207. On Microsoft, it's up 0.73%. So Microsoft, it was down, and look at what happened, guys. Now we talked about it in my video also, and I'm not gonna go into too much details, but you can see, the levels I gave you guys, it actually held right here at 417 to 416, these moving averages. And what happened? A decent move, and that is why it's really important that if you're actually day trading, you need these key levels to get an entry and an exit. And if you actually did that today here on Microsoft, well, it's up like $4 or $5 from these lows. I mean, this was a fantastic opportunity. And even myself, I don't like to trade, back and forth, bunch of trades. I don't do that. Otherwise, this was a nice opportunity. And now it's back up to 422 over 420. So that opens the door for a move up to possibly retesting 50-day moving average 435.48. And that can happen here on Microsoft. And then we can talk about this gap right above 443. Now we get a pullback, and this support does not hold 420. Then watch out for right here 416 to 417, and underneath that level 413, 410, and then this gap 408.76. On Google stock, it's up 2.22%. So Google, this is a fantastic trade, and I'm still holding position here on Google. I actually bought right here at 162. This thing dipped, and I did not even add anything, and now you can see it's trading at almost 169. So that is why big names, like especially the names that I cover here in my channel, always opportunities are there. It's all up to you guys if you want to make the money, or you just want to go and just don't want to touch it and you think there is a crash. This was a really clear bear flag, and off of this bear flag, and it's still there, this bear flag, and I bought the dip. Now if it comes down, yeah, I can sell it for break even. I can even raise my stop, and guess what? Look at the upside now. And we all know that upside gaps immediately gets filled on these big names. So there is a gap now right here at 170. That's the next stop. It's holding 168, at least this white line 20-day moving average. So that is the next stop, 170. And over that, 176, possibly even 180. And then this gap, 183.33. Now to the downside, 168 gives up. The next support 165, and then 162. On Amazon stock, it's up 0.66%. So Amazon not even getting down to this 20-day moving average, 174.60, or I would say 175. And again, I mean, you can see this candle, the dip was bought up and looks like it's actually due for a move up to 180, and then this gap 182. So that is the next stop on Amazon. The longer time we spend over 175, I mean, this thing will definitely go up to 180 and then 182 to close this gap here on top, and possibly will retest 50-day and the resistance here at 185. Now we get a pullback as long as the support can hold right here at 174 to, I would say, 173, anywhere here, guys. After closing this gap, 173 to even 175, these are going to be a strong level to maybe even buy the dip before closing this gap. I'm not talking about filling this gap and then coming back and then you buy that dip here. Before filling this gap, we have urgency here on Amazon that it might go back up to close this gap and possibly even this gap. So that means what? If we get some sort of a pullback, a higher low here, and the support and the gap gets filled and the support can hold at the gap fill, that's going to be an opportunity to play this back up to the upside. So watch out, anywhere from 173 to this 20-day moving average 175, strong support and also a dip buy zone as long as the support can hold. Now to the upside, 180 the next stop, and over that 182, and possibly will retest 50-day moving average, this red line, and the resistance at 185. On Meta, it's up 0.35%, so Meta came back and almost getting down to this gap, but it actually came back up and now trading close to 531. So Meta again another rejection today at 531, came back down to 522, and the dip was bought up. So it's looking good for possibly brand new all-time highs, but also keep that in mind, this could be a double top here, but we have no confirmation yet. So Meta here, 531 breaks, next stop 538, previous all-time high 542.81, and then brand new all-time high, which could be 551. To the downside, if this thing cannot break 531, critical support down here at 520, and then this gap fill right here at 518, and underneath that level, you're going to see a flush down to 510.56, 13-day moving average, and then even a flat 500. So Netflix also going up over 2%, and just like I said in my video that we can get over 680, you're going to see another explosive move up to 700, and we're almost there, guys. It's getting a bit frothy, overextended. I would not actually buy into it at this point, but if there is a pullback, I would say down to 680. As long as the support can hold, maybe you can scalp some calls. If not, the next big buying opportunity will be down here at 667 to 664. Underneath that level, you're going to see a flash down to 654. Now, 680 can hold, definitely, even with this overextended condition here. This thing can push, and we have seen that before also on Netflix, pushing it, even though the thing is overextended, it can push up to 700. And over 700, well, welcome brand new all-time highs. That is what's coming over 700 if that happens in next couple of weeks. On Nvidia stock, it's up over 4%. So Nvidia, my shares, and actually quite a few Patreon members are holding their shares because I'm holding. Up $35 a share. Now you tell me, guys, be honest. How many traders and investors out there actually caught this dip and they're still holding Nvidia? Most people, they got out here. Some people got out here, and I know quite a few people that actually got out and now watching it like, what the heck is going on? It's still going, right? So when there is a good opportunity, I'm going to buy it. When it's not, I'm not going to touch it. Like right now, if somebody's telling me like, oh, I'm buying Nvidia here, well, I'm totally against that because it's not time to buy the this stock anymore. So my shares are up, and I'm going to go through the earnings because $35 per share, that is a massive amount. You can do the math. I mean, if you hold like a couple hundred shares, that is a decent amount. And there is a possibility where Nvidia breaks out from this previous all-time highs. And if that happens, we all know that this thing can push even higher. But, that is not why I'm actually holding. My average is really low. I caught here on this dip, and I'm just riding this, move to the upside with resetting my stop loss. And Nvidia, what I said in my last video over the weekend, that watch out, guys, we're almost there, 126, and soon as that breaks, you're gonna see 130. And where did we close today, guys? I mean, talking about technical analysis, 130, look at it right here. So now Nvidia, we do have earnings coming, I think in just a matter of a week or two, very soon. Nvidia stock, again pushing higher, near all-time highs, not too far away. So if this thing here now gets a pullback, well, guess what? 126, that's going to be your line in the sand. Only if that breaks, then we can talk about a little bit more downside. Maybe I would say 123 to 124. That is something to watch, but so far, I would say, if there is a $4 pullback, we'll be down here at 126, and this is where you're gonna see, a lot of buyers stepping in before earnings. After earnings, I don't know. We can do the analysis again because, earnings, nobody can predict that, right? Now, Nvidia breaks over 130. In that case, you can see, we're already like the air is thin right up here, guys. Volume shelf, nothing up here. This thing can fly over 130. Definitely going back up to 136 and possibly 100% possibility over 130 of a hitting brand new all-time high. And especially with earnings around the corner, that can happen. So, Nvidia, when I short it, and I'm lucky that I took all my profit, and it was over 100% on this dip, and I did not actually hold anything, especially on this Monday dip right here. Completely sold out and went really heavy on shares. And this thing now paying. So Nvidia, I don't have anything against it. When there was a time and I was calling it, how this thing was breaking down one support after another, And the time finally came that Monday morning. I think it was August 5th right here. Yes. And the dip we bought, and now a lot of you guys, even on Patreon, people that are holding, and I see quite a few hands out there still holding. Just hold it, reset your stop loss, and ride this. So Nvidia stock over 130, blue sky. We might see 136 and then brand new all-time high. Under 130, watch out for the support 126, 123, and then 117.85, which is long way down here now. So, I'm not even talking about Nvidia coming down here this week. I mean, if that happens, market is going to take a massive dump off. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great night.